Good morning, students of class 10. Welcome back to the classes now. Let's continue our lessons in geography. I hope you are staying safe in doing your regular studies. Don't waste your time. Let's continue our lessons. Every day make a habit of going through the lessons. So now we were talking about the first lesson, resources and development. Here we have talked about soil as a resource, various things about that, and now we are coming to this point, classification of soils. We are talking about the soils that are found in India. Due to varied relief, land, due to different types of landforms, mountains, valleys, plains, plateau regions, coastal areas, desert areas, that is called varied relief, landforms, climate, and different types of vegetation found here. They have contributed in the making of various types of soil in India. India has various types of soil because of all these things. These relief, landform, climate, and vegetation have contributed in the formation of different types of soil in India. So first we'll talk about various types of soil. First we'll talk about alluvial soil, then red soil, laterite soil, black soil, various types of soil. So now first we'll talk about alluvial soil. The entire means total, whole northern India. The entire northern plains, northern India, eastern coastal plain, that is near Visakhapatnam, Chennai, Odisha, coastal areas, coastal plains, and river valleys. In southern India there are rivers, big rivers, Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri, river valleys. Even in northern India, Ganges, Brahmaputra. River valleys are made of alluvial soil. Alluvial soil they are the fine particles of soil brought down by the rivers during rainy season. During rainy seasons, these rivers bring down a huge load of soil particles and very fine soil particles and deposit it. It gets deposited in the plains, flood plains. This soil is called alluvial soil, and it is the best soil found on the earth. We'll talk about number 3, the northern India, that is the northern plains. In northern India, these have been deposited, these alluvial soils have been deposited by 3 great rivers, 3 important big rivers. That is Indus. Previously it was in India, now Pakistan is being divided. Now the Indus, most of the India's part is in Pakistan, but its plains lie in Punjab and Haryana. Indus, Ganga, and Brahmaputra. Indus in Hindi we call it Sindh Nadi, that is in Pakistan. Previously when Pakistan was in India, it was Indian river. Now it is in Pakistan. Indus, Ganga, and Brahmaputra. These are the 3 big rivers originated in the Himalayas. They bring down huge amount of soil, that too fine particle of soil, and the soil gets deposited in the flood plains. This is how northern India is made. So these 3 rivers bring down the soil, and that soil is called alluvial soil. The plains have fine particles, alluvial soil particles. Their soil particles are very fine, but in the floodplain. But near the foothills, the fine particles will be washed away, and the coarse grain, the rough grains, quite sandy. The foothills have coarse and rough, having bigger particles, rough soil particles, coarse soil particles. This area is called dewars, or terai region, that near the foothills where the soil particles are quite big, quite sandy, because fine particles are washed away by the river and deposited in the plains. At the foothills, the coarse grain of soil is called, this region is called towards terai region. Now here, apart from means excluding, not only these fine particles, apart from soil particles, so far we have talked about soil particles. Alluvial soil has got a fine particles and the coarse particles having bigger grains, bigger particles. This region near the foothills, that place is called, that region is called duvers or terai. Now apart from that, fine particle soils are described on the basis of age, according to the age. The soil particles over here in the plains, this is Bangar. This is an old alluvial soil which had been deposited by Ganga river millions of years before. Now here it doesn't flood, so this soil is old. Described on the basis of age. Old alluvial soil, which we find over here, is called Bangar. The old alluvial soil is called Bangar, which is above the river valleys. And new floodplains, new alluvial soil have new floodplains where every year the river brings floods and the soil particles are deposited. So, and the new, that is called floodplains, where it floods every year. Floodplains have khaddar. Khaddar means having fine particles, which is brought down by the rivers every year and deposits on the field, on the plains. This, near the river where it floods, they have khaddar soil, khaddar alluvial soil, having fine particles every year. Fresh mud is brought down by the river due to flood. But here it doesn't flood every year. So these soils have been deposited long time back. So this old alluvial is called Bangar, and where every year it gets deposited by the rivers, that area is have Khaddar alluvial soil, that's new, which is more fertile than the Bangar. That means, according to the age, alluvial soils are of two types, according to the age. That is Bangar, old alluvial soil, and Khaddar, new alluvial soil, which is brought down by the river every year and deposits in the field. So this Khaddar alluvial soil is more fertile than the old alluvial soil, that is Bangar. So now, so far we have talked about the particles, about the soil particles of alluvial soil, and one of the most fertile soil, you can say. According to the age, we have two types of alluvial soil. Old, that is called old alluvial soil, that is Bangar, which has been deposited long time back by the river. Now it doesn't flood over here. That's over there. That area is have got Bangar alluvial soil, and where it floods every year, that area they have alluvial soil, that is also called Khaddar Bangar soil, Khaddar alluvial soil, which is more fertile. So North India, that is the northern plains, is one of the most fertile land. It has the most fertile land in the world. So we are very lucky to have this so fertile land, and whatever thing grows over here, the crops, it feeds the whole Indian people. So North India, that is northern plains, have got the most fertile soil in the world, that is alluvial soil. So this much for today. In our next class we will talk about some more. So you can go through this properly, listen carefully while explaining, so you shouldn't get you should not get confused. Whatever questions you have, you can ask through your WhatsApp group. So that's all for today. We'll meet in the next class, and hope you are staying safe and doing your regular studies. Thank you for watching this video.